I love getting caught up in my own stuff. So, is there? You said that they'll cite you for what, like obstructing the sidewalk, or what was it? Like you can't just like stand there and what?
I forget exactly what it's called. It's something
Like,
like
obstructing the flow of traffic, the flow of pedestrian traffic or some shit.
Obstructing the walkway.
So that's why I'm like, well, this might luck out with this little gravel spot right here, like, you know. I mean, I'm sure if they have one, yeah. It's just a double cup, yeah. So what is what is it? You can't just stand here and watch because then that's like you don't have to pay for the show. Is that what it is? Like why do the cops even care? That's because they own them. What is this?
I'm not sure what the deal with this place is. It's called but they took all the signs down and then they're not open every day. So I don't know if they went out of business and somebody else to rent them or what to do.
Because they seem particularly paying more.
This is the place where they used to have a place called Insert Coins. And basically right here, they beat up a homeless guy. And then we came out here, we were protesting for about 3 months, and they shut the place down.
Right on.
There's a real crowd to come
Is this an actual, like, crosswalk?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright.
Not to grab these guys.
That's
okay if you don't walk right here.
I wonder what it was that,
Uber guy trying to pick somebody up.
Oh, okay.
It's so fucked up out here. Nobody can find their Uber. And the Ubers can't find them, so they're wandering around trying to find each other. And then they'll get them, and they'll get the people trying to come out and get in the Uber.
So why wouldn't they, okay, like those people, is it because they're standing here, or why wouldn't they have took them for the same thing they've been taking everybody else for? Do you think the cameras have any effect? Like,
maybe.
Alright.
Anything good tonight?
I don't know. You tell me. No? Just your usual revenue collecting of the step in the curb, step up the curbs?
No, just try to keep them out on the streets so they don't get hit because they've reduced our lanes. because they made the sidewalks bigger, so now we have even less space.
Yeah, and you guys are all in the middle of the street.
Downtown project. So
Because now nobody has anywhere to park.
that's what we're fighting with the Uber drivers. Yeah.
You guys are in the middle of the street, so one of the lanes is blocked out. It's like the traffic is just worse
Terrible.
than everyone.
And they don't want us to shut it down. The businesses think that it'll hamper their businesses. So I'm hoping that they'll put up some type of like wrought iron railing here just to keep this. People come down here to drink and have fun. We've already watched 4 or 5 slip and fall in the open dirt.
Yeah, there's holes right there.
And then just trying to cut across the street because they cross for their Uber driver and somebody's going to get hit. I don't want nobody to get hit. But that's all we're doing tonight is telling the Uber drivers to pick up at El Cortez and over on 6 and 5.
Wow, that was a mistake.
I got pushed into you.
She did it.
She did.
She did it. It wasn't.
I don't know why they don't. I always tell people.
It's better. They've got the big aerial grid at El Cortez that they can actually go into it and not get hurt. Nobody get ran over. But we'll see.
So do you actually, I'm not from here, but do you actually arrest somebody for jaywalking?
You can. Everything in Nevada, I should say in Las Vegas, is arrestable. If you run a red light,
Okay, no, I'm talking about pedestrians at least.
pedestrian failure to obey, yeah.
It
It
seems
really depends. We don't want to arrest them. The kid that just went to jail,
yeah, the one in the
he
white.
refused to sign his ticket. It was literally has never drank before, and if you the ticket signature is just a promise to appear.
Right.
That's all that
I
is.
hear that, yeah.
And you can explain it until you're blue in the face, but since he's inebriated, he wouldn't. And we're like, we have no other alternative. And when you're that inebriated, you still make good decisions.
That's, he didn't look. I mean, look. I don't know if we're talking about the same person as when we passed by, but he didn't look like drunk the one we saw. But
Talking to the
one with the
young
white
kid.
Yeah, because his friends were completely
His friends
sober.
were the best friends in the world, and they were super nice.
Yeah.
And they were asking to take him, and I'm like, I can't.
Okay,
He's
just because he
gotta
wasn't.
do it.
But but you put them in handcuffs right away as you're like detaining them for
when
the.
they talked to him and asked him to get away from because he was messing with the van. He went up to the PT wagon and was doing something, so they're like, hey, get away.
That's not what they said. They said he had put his foot in the road or something.
No,
like
he
that.
went up to the PT wagon, was messing with it, looking inside of it. They're like, hey, get away from the wagon. And the first few words out of his mouth is F you. I don't have to do what you tell me. Then they're going to grab him.
Liquid courage.
And that's just it. They usually go into handcuffs when they're not complying, basically, and some type of aggressive resistance. It just really depends on how the officer feels.
Yeah.
And I used to always tell people, I can take you out as fast as I put you in. Calm down, relax, let's talk for a few
It's a
minutes.
nice slogan.
Work through this, and we'll get you out of here. And as you we've had 10 people stopped tonight, and I think 2 of the people we stopped went to jail. One had warrants, something else. Whoops. But most of them get to go free.
All right. So do you think that'd be something that they do? They like put these rods. I mean, it seems like if there's really the concern for like people's safety, which I would hope that they would put like some kind of obstruction in it.
I can't hear you. What's
Some
that?
kind of obstruction. You were talking about putting a railing in or something.
I would like to see that.
Is that what they would do with the money that you guys are getting from all the the tickets?
No.
Makes sense.
This is all private funding.
Harassing homeless people.
Yeah, I figure. But it would be nice if that's where the money was going, right?
Not that. So,
I think we need. I know the mayor's position and our position and the position of the police department is that we're not going to enforce anything until they have something reasonable in place. Like we need to have some type of place that they can go to, some type of alternative services, and that's what I've told my guys. I don't want anybody to take enforcement action based upon that new law until they have. I can't just say, hey, get off my sidewalk. You can't sleep here. Always like laws.
I'm not familiar with. I mean, I know that there's a big one, homeless crisis in LA, but
There's a huge homeless problem here.
and the way that they're being treated by police. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
Yeah,
it's the city council in the city of Las Vegas. that pass the ordinance. It's nothing to do with the police department. We don't write the laws.
Yeah, but
Comes down to that.
yeah. Well, you can choose how to carry it out, I guess. That's
You shouldn't enforce immoral laws.
What's that?
You shouldn't enforce immoral laws.
Well, the problem is when we sign up, it's Constitution, state, local, everything. We don't get to pick and choose. That's why we hope that our administration tries to work with them to come up with some type of reasonable compromise. But there is a problem here. And as a business owner and other people, you have to come out every day and clean up feces from out the front of your business or around your doors. It's not fair to them to not have an alternative too, though, right?
But when you guys go out and they raise their camps that they have on the vacant lots, they're staying away from those businesses.
That's code enforcement.
And when they, like down at Circle Park where they closed the bathrooms, they thought somehow homeless people weren't going to go to the bathroom anymore if the bathrooms were closed.
Well, now you're dealing with city. Who closed that park? It wasn't the law enforcement. That was the city of Las Vegas again. Again, your city council, your city mayors. And it comes down to your elected officials. There was no law enforcement that was involved in closing that. They bring us in for the enforcement portion of the law. They do. But the passing of that law and the closing of that part of the city.
Sometimes you got to make moral decisions.
Even when it's doing your job. When those types of decisions come down.
Have a moral issue.
I don't have a moral issue. I enforce the laws of the city, county, state, federal, and local government. I don't discriminate against anyone. It comes down to that. You don't always agree with the job that you do, right? And that's good for you. Unfortunately, when you're in civil service, you don't always have that option.
I'm going to be right there with somebody was detained over there. But I know I don't want to end your conversation, but I'll be right there.
That's just it.
Alright, sorry. I know he knows a lot more about whatever the homeless crisis is here in Vegas, and I hope that he has a productive conversation with that officer, but I saw somebody getting detained over here, so I feel the need to mosey on over. He looked like the next one that might run for their, I guess, chief or police, or I'm not sure what they have here. I forget. I mean, I do know. Sheriff, it's like, it's weird because it's police, it says, Metro Police, but then they have a sheriff badge kind of as their signage. He's talking about, we're just we're out here keeping people safe. Like, come on, bro. Like, who are you fucking kidding? Like, this is all 100% revenue. I mean, look at, this guy stepped into the street, so he's handcuffed. His, temporarily, his freedoms have been taken away over a foot in the street, or crossing the street even. It's like so self-righteous that these motherfuckers think that this is okay, but... And then there's he was saying that the one guy we'd walked by and saw, he was a belligerent, just wasted and talking back to them and wouldn't sign the ticket. And it's just a promise to appear, but the guy refused, and so he went to jail. It's like, they do tell you that, and I suggest, if you, if you're okay with jail, I guess you can play that card. 9 times out of 10 don't get away with stuff like that. They always like to play the ego card, so you're gonna go. I myself, I don't want to jinx myself, but have yet to be arrested, so it's because it's never my prerogative to give them even a nano of my freedom, my time, my money. That's just not my prerogative. But this is a hard one because people just putting their foot off the curb will be getting these tickets. And putting in half. Okay, I'm gonna go check on the dude over here. Is your name on your jacket? Oh no.
That's a newer jacket.
Oh, you put a little thing on it? What's your name?
Officer Keenan?
Keenan?
Keenan.
Okay.
Eminent domain.
You know Ramon Willis?
Maybe that's just it. You know, we have places.
Kind of keep it to myself.
If you did.
California, you have George Air Force Base.
He's a charmer, that one. I've never been put in handcuffs until I met him. Just right there last year.
They're completely vacant, like a ghost.
Recording?
And there's several other
Exactly.
like that
Completely.
that offer viable solutions. But
I know.
The only one.
He what?
I saw you were filming that. It was actually.
This is live. This one's live. I mean, I was recording on my camera. This one, yeah.
Okay. What do you stream on?
YouTube.
YouTube?
YouTube, yeah. Oh, thanks, Motorball. Oh my goodness.
The name of.
That's it. Yeah. No, that's him. I'm LaurasharkCW on YouTube.
What's yours?
LaurasharkCW.
like from law
Yeah, he's separate. Yeah, he's got his own channel. He's a founder of that.
You just do Nevada, or
He lives here. I
We
don't.
even now
I don't
have
live
on
in
our
Florida.
got
on
other
our
departments too, or?
we have the CRT.
Well, I came to Vegas to record you guys, and then, but I live in LA. I usually record like LAPD.
I was just wondering if you go to like different states and
agencies.
Yeah, I've been to Chicago, but it's not usual. But yeah, I have.
I do think we're making progress. It's just that there's a lot of homeless here. I think we're the 7th in the nation now.
Thank you.
It's big. You know, our CRT teams are huge because they're giving options. Because it used to be that if we picked up somebody,
I hear a lot about this department, so I had to, come see for myself last year, and then I was like, oh, handcuffs. Okay, I guess they were right. God, here I was giving the opportunity to prove them wrong, but
other services.
like I've been doing this for 4 years, and I never better.
they stop you.
No, I was walking around the corner. Like there's an ambulance. Somebody was putting an ambulance. There's 2 officers there, but I turned the corner and there was 4 officers like standing against the wall. And then so I just kind of turned and pointed my camera at him. It was almost like I was about to, because I thought maybe something was going on. I was looking, and he's like, "You need to stop recording. You can't record right here." And I'm like, "What? Why not?" I mean, basically, if you look me up, you can find it on my channel. I posted it. But it was the most ridiculous thing. Like he was adamant that I was obstructing by standing there. Mind you, they had already put the person in the ambulance, and even then. There was a sergeant, or I forget, how do you have sergeants, or do you have, right? There was a sergeant that was there when I first started recording, and he was there, and then he finally came over after I was being handcuffed, and he's like, she can record. But he took my camera out of my hand and turned it off, and that was like, I was like, the audacity. And never mind that, the violation.
I don't, obviously I wasn't there, I didn't see what happened, but it was me, and I had something medical, and I was like, hey, back up, and then you were like right on top of us.
Yeah, okay, but
I'm like, hey, that's kind of a problem, I need to help us go with medical, but
I am,
obviously I didn't see the circumstances, I don't know how close you were, I don't know.
like I said, the ambulance was parked, what is that, on 6th? It was parked on 6th. Yeah, and it was, the guy was already put in whatever the situation was, we didn't catch that. But they were just standing there against the wall, and I turned the corner. Like, there was nothing actually actively happening, which was, I was trying to figure out. Anyway, I mean, I know you weren't there and you didn't see it, but like I said, you can see the video. But
it's hard for me to defend him or defend you.
Yeah, I mean,
situation, you know what I mean?
well, he was wrong, but anyway.
We're 2 paychecks.
I mean, I didn't even. I guess I could have followed up on that in that sense, but I just was kind of more like, well, I guess I'll be back. So you can take that guy. No.
That's why I try to impress upon these guys.
What's your name?
Ron Brink.
Oh, right. Okay.
Most people are 2 paychecks away from being homeless.
Right.
If you lost your job and within basically 2 paychecks 1 month, you're probably going to be exhausted all your needs.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you guys get back. You guys have a good night.
All right. You
Stay
too.
safe.
We will try.
Any questions for me?
No, not as of right now.
If you ever have any, you see me, feel free anytime.
I was just telling him I was handcuffed for the first time here on this corner for filming last year.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, for filming. I was asking if he knows Ramon Willis, but I don't think any of you would admit it.
Settled the case where I was arrested.
And that's why I'm here. I came from out of state because last year I heard, and then I was like, okay, I guess that's true. They're a little, so that's I can keep coming back.
Unfortunately, sometimes things happen. And anytime that you deal with a police force of 3,500, you're going to have people that are just not educated enough to try.
No way. That's your excuse?
For education as far as...
Of the officers?
No, the difference between...
I mean, it's a common knowledge. Here's humans and their rights.
But what they like to view is, they put those Coke bottles on of, being in police work. Take that police work out of it. Maybe they're like, hey, she's obstructing my investigation.
Oh,
It's not obstructing if I ask you to step back and you do step back. But being brand new, my version of how far away you are and I'm comfortable may be different than somebody else. That's the point that I'm saying.
I know, yeah, I guess there's a comfort level. It still doesn't... What is the overall? Is there like, you guys have your morning or whatever, your shift meetings or something, and you go, okay, can we just leave the photographers alone? I mean, it's usually actually probably the...
You figure the big case here that changed that for us was...
What is the fear that... Okay, I understand the whole obstruction, like you guys want to claim that it's obstructing, that we're getting in your way, but let's just say, like, that's obviously not always the case. Like, I don't know if... so what is it, an ego thing? Is it like they're afraid that their face is going to be online? Like, what is that, like, line of...
It's different. I started 20 years ago.
Right.
And if you were filming me 20 years ago, I'd turn my spotlight on you. Just because that's what we did.
Why?
It was a hindrance. It was like, why are they filming us?
They're just being jerks.
Just being that way. It's like, hey, I'm doing what I'm doing. You just leave me alone.
But the Constitution is the same when it started that it is today. So that, I mean, that doesn't make me feel right. Because like then, I've noticed. I mean, I've only been recording like 4 years, but it's just kind of a lot. But I noticed that older officers will be set in their ways, and maybe because everybody did it, however many years ago, like they're not going to change it. It's disappointing. And then they are the trainers of the next generation who, shit, let my superior does it, I'll do it.
But look how much it's changed in just the last 5 years.
Yeah, because finally people were like, you know what, and they'll take a, they'll make a case out of it. They'll fight for their rights, which is a shame that they have to do against
That's that kind of drama. I'm a newer officer.
Body camera.
So yeah, body cameras.
And I came over. You didn't ask me to come. I came over because I wanted to.
How easy is it to get that footage? Just curious.
Depends. If you're like an attorney, Freedom of Information Act, all you have to do is file for it.
So you'd have to be an attorney.
It's public record.
It's public
I understand
record,
that.
But they fight it a lot.
No, yeah.
It's something they don't want you to see.
Yeah, I mean that's where what I have, my footage is available right away, and it's publicized. Whereas whenever whatever the cops go, we have body cameras. Like, well, that's great. I'm glad you guys can have a good laugh over whatever you see. I don't know whenever
our agency is very good and very transparent. If you've noticed on all of our officer-involved shootings, all of our critical incidents, you have the right away, the 2-hour release, and then you have the 48-hour and whatnot.
I notice I like where you position your camera because LAPD positions it here, and if there's a shooting and they're pointing a gun, it obstructs the view. I like where you put it, but
90% of our department is right-handed.
Okay.
So also when you come up and everything, and with like a shotgun or anything, if it's on the shoulder, it inhibits that. So we have a policy that basically states which side they put it on and how they wear it, because we have that same problem with it being covered.
Right.
It just comes down to this. Police work wasn't transparent 20 years ago. The Constitution was the same, but we didn't release the information that we used to that we do now.
Yeah,
now
because the movements have grown.
Accountability.
That's because the people, fought for it.
Yeah.
Because if it was up to you guys, I don't know.
It just depends. Like the body camera that they'll release now, they'll redact some of it for protection.
And then you know how much it costs to get that body camera footage? It is insane. And no common person could ever afford that. Thousands.
Is it?
Because of the time that it takes to redact, you have to pay that person to do that. I mean, the common person could never afford that. I mean, maybe big, news industries, it's worth it to them, obviously. But not any common person that's trying to, prove their, whatever they're violated or whatever that they weren't. So I'm just saying, it's great that you guys do that. I mean, obviously, it's good that it's available, but it's just it's still still out of reach.
It's still edited.
Yeah, and it's redacted to your.
You guys still throw certain people out of press conferences.
I don't know. I know the redacting.
How come you don't have one?
Juveniles.
I just noticed this. I was like,
the street lieutenants don't have them on.
Why not? Because whatever you do is complete secrecy. You have the right to use.
Anything.
No, I know, but
there's
are you
also
saying?
quite a lot of people forgetting to turn their camera on, or
I don't understand why Lieutenant wouldn't be.
being corrupted.
Now we do. Here's one problem. These guys work 12-hour shifts.
That's a lot of battery.
Camera batteries are only good for 8 hours.
You
By the
gotta,
end of their shifts, they're all coming on the radio going, they're dying. So they'll have to go back to the station and sit there and either do a rapid charge and try to get something back, or try to find another battery because they're only issued one.
you don't have a rapid charge in the unit,
I mean,
the car?
I work with things
They
that
don't.
require batteries, and I carry extra batteries.
But they don't give us extra batteries. We can't buy these. We can't just
Can't
buy
afford
it.
them. Can't buy all those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they were
A lot
mentioning
of
that,
extra money.
and the,
I
yeah.
mean, you guys make a lot of money.
Is it
I'm not
live?
saying you guys
Like,
have to
is
buy,
it?
I mean, the department.
Can your department tap into it? Could they
They
watch
do.
live, or it's
I
all
have body
recorded and
Actually,
brought
no,
back?
They can watch it live.
Can they watch live on
Told me
these?
to put it on, then put it on.
Like, can a
they watch
department like tap into this?
No.
No, and not and see what's
No,
on
they
it.
can't. Yeah, it's all recorded,
Yeah, okay.
so they'd have to come out and play it all back.
I'm still interested in why you don't have to wear one.
We'll get them eventually. It just comes down to funding. Everybody trying to get them. The same with the new tasers. We got brand new tasers.
You wouldn't have a problem with it when you finally get the funding, right?
No. Yeah.
Like, put it on, right? But I like how they put it on the. That's funny.
On the what?
I've never heard of that because like every other department that I see that has body, everybody from the lowest to the highest wears, a body kit. And, like that's
I don't
it.
like them here though, because they can
No,
get
no,
a
yeah.
jacket will cover it.
Yeah, exactly that too. And they have these magnetic ones, but I'm just saying that I've never. That's like literally like they lowest to the highest.
Yeah, it just got. There's certain places on here that doesn't have to wear them. They're slowly coming, but as far as for a lieutenant position,
So is it that you don't have to, or is it because you don't have the money to,
No
for some
camera
reason,
available.
cover? How convenient, no kidding.
I'm not supposed to be out making stops. I'm not supposed to be out doing.
So if you were
general
patrolling
police work. If I'm out patrolling and stuff like they do and going on calls all day long, a lot of my job is admin, sitting inside,
desk.
setting up, scheduling and planning for the protest that's coming up on the 20th, the parade that's coming on the 20th. That's where I get to sit, where they have to go out.
So wait,
What do you guys planning for the protest?
sorry guys,
Set up, we'll have all of our units available.
that's a good point. So you had the funding for the new tasers, but then you didn't. But they forgot to fund the cameras to everybody.
The tasers were purchased with grant money, and then also they sold
Isn't
the
that
old
similar?
tasers back.
So they got a discount.
Yeah.
Which is the battery
To a
Wait,
what?
AR-15?
What do you mean as far as cost wise? I don't know. The officers buy their own AR-15.
They do?
We have to buy our own gun.
It's news to me.
Buy a lot of our own equipment. They buy their own AR-15s. We do have some
Do you get-
department issued ones, but a lot of the officers choose to purchase their own because of the quality. And ours were given to us after Henry Prindus was killed in 2005. Those were all donated, so you're talking the life on those 20 years now. They've been in service.
So once they say retire, or do they like get a buyback? Like they buy back there, or they just have this
No, that's their
No,
police
they-
issued gun for the rest of their life?
They personally purchase it, so they
Separate,
can keep it.
completely outside of the department. Like there's no. Okay.
Yeah, if it's $2,000, then they got to fork up to $2,000 for it.
So what if they ain't making that much yet? They just kind of have some shizzy gun that.
If
they
they
don't-
can't afford it, they get a department
So
gun.
basically, you guys have paid pretty well because I've seen it come. There's no doubt in that. That's
The
a
starting salary is $50,000.
all right. You can afford a little,
Plus, they double that in overtime.
That's
No,
ridiculous.
not even close. You are way off. You're
Yeah.
telling me that they make
I can go on
50
This is getting
Transparent
good.
Nevada and I can look up
Hey, check it
Go
out.
pull up Transparent Nevada. You're saying every officer can double that? There's not enough special
Wait, you think we make
effects.
100,000?
When they first hire on?
No way.
My kid just got hired on and he made 61.
Really?
62, I think.
We don't make 100,000. I can tell you that. I worked a lot of overtime,
These guys are. Woo!
and I didn't make 100,000.
A lot of time they look on there and corrections officers, police officers, they're all commingled in there. Corrections officers have
told me his
different
name
opportunity
earlier,
to
but
work
I'll
because
have
they have
to go back and
the
check it out.
mandatory overtime inside of there. So make sure you're differentiating between the two. Because on that side, I would say more of an opportunity, but these guys can only sign up and you go on a lottery system every week. And once you get one week, you drop down into a whole different tier the next week, which usually means you don't get it. And then you can get one more overtime assignment. Most overtime assignments are 6 to 8 hours. If you make $50 an hour, $75 an hour, and then you're making overtime, 8 hours, you're only making $500 for an extra shift.
Also,
How new are you?
overtime.
Yeah, I just realized you said you were new.
Yep, there is
How
no
new?
shift overtime here. I would say
Like fresh out the academy?
very minute amount. Everything is passed off to the next shift. So if he has a late in custody, and he tells me, hey, I got late in custody, I'm due to get off, I take off, he passes the paperwork and the transport off to somebody else. Very rare do we get into shift overtime, unless it's something
The picture is frozen. I don't know. Are you guys still
being the
seeing
lieutenant, I
what's
approve it all,
happening
and
on
I've only
your end?
approved 2 to 3 in the last 4
Yeah, it's
months.
frozen. All right.
So you're saying
Crap.
they only get 6 to 8 hours a week.
That's if they get, that's their normal overtime gigs, between about 6 and 8. They
I'll
do
be
have
right
some that are
back.
longer
I'll be
and
right
some that
back.
are
Somebody
shorter.
said something.
We'll say that that's an average.